And we're live, Jack.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Me neither. I don't know how to do this. Whatever will we do? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was a bad opening. I had nothing. I'm sorry. I apologize. You should listen to it 3 or 4 times after you're done with the full stream just to make sure how bad it was.
Yeah. To punish yourself, you should sit through all the advertisements.
Share it with all of your friends.
Yeah. Always like, share, and subscribe.
This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing today, man?
Yeah, usual.
Yeah, I understand. I had a pretty good day, honestly.
Good.
Just my back is spasming a little bit now. So if you guys hear me grunt or anything, I promise I'm not pleasuring myself. Do you think anybody? Well, we know people have done that on streams before. That's a road we don't want to go down.
Coughs and ricada.
Yeah. Anyway, Jack, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but we covered a little bit of a clip from Trump being on with Tucker. And while you and I were laughing at Trump, I don't know if you were you here for that, where we watched the video of him calling Adam Schiff watermelon head?
No, I missed that part.
Yeah. So while we're all laughing at that, the lefties in the world were pissed. They got mad, Jack, because of something else he said.
That's all they do. That's all they do is get mad at stuff. It must be so frustrating to go through life so viscerally angry about nothing.
Now, we're going to watch the clip. For the record, guys, I had all of this set up before I went to bed. And then apparently my computer reset itself, which shouldn't be an issue because all the tabs should open back up. Guess what they did not do?
Not restore.
Yeah, they did not. So the video that I have of this one is a little bit low in the audio. So sorry about that. But this is what Donald Trump said. And see if you guys can pick out why they got so mad. Oh, I forgot to switch up our presentation. There we go. See if you can see what got them so angry. He's talking about Liz Cheney, and he says this.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter's a very dumb individual, very dumb.
True.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Did you catch it?
Oh, my God. He wants to have Liz Cheney murdered.
He wants to have her killed. Now, this is Liz Cheney's reaction. This is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. We cannot entrust our country and our freedom to a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant.
Joe Biden?
If you listen to what he said there, he says she's a she's a war hawk. She's the one that said petty. She's a war hawk. Let's give her a gun and let her go out there with guns trained on her.
Yes, but you see, that's a threat because she's a sophisticated individual, Monkey. And even drafting her in the military, which is what he was really talking about, is a threat of violence on her because she's not one of the filthy pores.
Well, as I just pointed out on Twitter a moment ago, what she's saying here is that that putting people into the wars that she supports is destroying our nation, and it's the kind of stuff that only petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable people would do.
No, she means that going after his political opponents, like having her go in the military. That's vindictive.
Yeah,
that's for the pores.
But still to fight in her war.
Yeah, but that's okay because she's cool with war as long as she's not directly have anything at stake in it.
Yeah, the notion that politicians support wars that they don't want themselves or their families to fight in is not new.
No.
He just put it in more stark detail. Go out there with several people like, actually, we're gonna let's watch this unhinged montage of the media. The first person that's going to be speaking is Jonah Goldberg, the guy who told us just like a week ago that Donald Trump wanted Hitler generals. So you know that this is going to be full of fact and rationality.
I don't think you even need to call it fired upon. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by firing squad.
Jack, you remember all those videos you've seen or stories you've read about firing squads where they give the condemned person a gun?
No.
Oh, you didn't? You never got those stories either?
No, I'm afraid not.
Yeah. Wait, is that coming through as garbled as it is on my screen there? Oh, it's a transition. I wasn't paying attention. I paused it right as a transition in this video because this is a montage of a lot of people in the media.
You hear that, guys? Monkey admits he's a transphobe.
I am. I don't like weird transitions.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
How do you get from give her a gun to he's saying he wants her put in front of a firing squad?
Because they're idiots and they will look for anything that will make their opponent look bad.
I mean, Cheney, the video that we watched of Trump saying this, Cheney herself retweeted. What he's saying there is crystal clear, but the entirety of the media yesterday. Oh my God, Trump wants her to be put in front of a firing squad. Don't believe me? Here.
4 days out from Election Day, and former President Donald Trump is escalating his violent rhetoric, suggesting one of his most prominent critics, the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
Yep, that's what he was saying. I hope people shoot at her.
That's not. Well, he was saying in a context of being in a war.
Yes.
But it was hypothetical, not like, I want this bitch dead.
Not like a Kamala supporter at a Trump rally taking a shot at Trump.
Yeah.
That is so fucking. They're just liars, man.
Yeah, they're not even good at it. I saw CBS tonight, the World News or whatever, on broadcast media, and Norah O'Donnell repeated the same bullshit. Like, Trump stepped up his rhetoric.
Yep, his violent rhetoric.
Yeah.
By saying that she should have to face the same war that she puts other people in or supports putting other people in.
Yeah, what a fucking monster.
That bastard. Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for coming through with that feminist $12.
Woo.
Ooh. I was dragging that out so this would load and it took too long. Thank you, Dark. Well, that's easy, Monkey. Just lie. It comes so naturally to these activists. You're not wrong.
Right.
And then Jonah Goldberg, we'll read it in a little bit. He actually came out and wrote a Twitter post. He didn't go on CNN, but he wrote a Twitter post claiming that, I was wrong, but then still blames Trump for him lying.
How does that work?
We'll read it in a minute. Let's get a few more of these media types out here. Here's Jim. I sit down to pee Acosta.
Reaction to what Donald Trump said about Liz Cheney.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it was completely inappropriate,
Was it?
dangerous,
Was it?
and unbecoming of a leader.
So every time that the left was like saying, hey, George Bush won't send his kids into combat, you guys wanted his kids to die?
Yes.
That was violent, inexcusable rhetoric.
Well, no, because Republicans pounce. Democrats are use sophisticated analogies. See, your primitive right-wing brain can't possibly grasp the nuance to it.
Yeah. I've been told that about myself before.
Yeah, I get it a lot too, usually from family.
Mr. Trump was literally going after someone who doesn't agree with him. So you shouldn't be a surprise when people come on TV and feel the need to agree with him.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
He was literally attacking people who agree with it. him or who disagree with him. So it's not a surprise that people come on and agree with him. Sure. All right.
Yeah, let's go with that story. Whatever.
Acosta's going to lay it out for us. This is as far as I've seen in is this clip here. Check this shit out.
Barrels. When he says 9 barrels shooting at her,
that's not even what he said. He said trained at her, but okay.
That obviously evokes images of a firing squad.
Again, he started it by saying, give her a gun.
Yeah, that's very much not a firing squad if you have a gun at the beginning of the scenario. Maybe a shootout.
Yeah, maybe like some Alamo kind of stuff, or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but not a firing squad. What the fuck are you talking about? And they just lied over and over and over again.
And how do we know that it wasn't shooting monkeys? Because they are barrels, and monkeys live in barrels. My toy collection told me so as a child.
That is true. That is true. That they have whole. That's where you keep monkeys.
Yeah, it's science. The monkeys hang out in barrels. That's a barrel of monkeys. That's what it's called.
It is just so amazing to me how not one of them went. I mean, what he actually was talking about was, her fighting in those wars.
No, because they're too close to the election and they're a bunch of disingenuous shitbags.
It evokes images of an execution.
Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her.
Isn't that part great? I'm sorry, I did see up to there because I forgot I stopped on Jonah here. That's Jonah again, the guy from the beginning.
A woman?
He doesn't like her and she's a woman. So he's talking about executing her.
Oh, what a fucking monster.
Yeah, it's as much as well. Let's watch the rest of it together, Jack, because I have no idea what else comes on.
And does that pull more low propensity voters in his coalition to the polls? I honestly don't think so.
Will more people vote for him because he wants to kill women? Is that what he was asking?
I think so. I don't know when Jonah Goldberg became such a douchebag, but because he wrote a book called Liberal Fascism, and now he partakes in liberal fascism.
It happened when Donald Trump won. Now,
yeah, he's got some TDS real hardcore.
Oh, I need to turn this one down. Shit, that is loud.
Just so you guys know, I'm not at home, so I don't have my monitor, so I'm having to flip between tabs. So if I don't get to your Streamlabs right away, I apologize in advance.
Fair enough. All right, this one is Kamala. She decided to weigh in. Holy shit, that is still loud. Pull that down a little bit more.
Even worse, he has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about.
Does that sound familiar? I mean, I feel like that is literally word for word what the chick said in that one clip we watched, the media girl.
Oh yeah, they all have the same talking points. Who we kidding? It's like
funny...
that.
Oh, go ahead.
It's like that video of all the TV stations repeating the same monologue.
Oh yeah, and you can watch her. She is clearly reading something.
Mm-hmm.
This is not off the top of her head. She is reading probably the press statement that CNN gave her.
Well, off the top of her head, you just get dandruff, hairspray, and old jizz.
About political opponents, and in great detail, suggested rifles should be trained on former Representative Liz Cheney.
I mean, at least she used the proper wording because Jim Acosta said he literally said she should be shot. That's not what he said.
Yeah, you can point things at people without actually shooting them.
But there goes Liz Cheney. There goes Kamala repeating the same fucking lie. And do you think she's going to be fact checked in tomorrow's edition of the Post?
Sure, monkey. Sure.
Think any of these assholes will be? Well, here. Let's read what Jonah had to say here because I need to make a statement. This morning on CNN, I referred to Trump's rifles quote as him advocating a firing squad for Liz Cheney. I was reacting in haste to what were objectively appalling and irresponsible comments that had been framed in a setup piece in the context of previous statements Trump made about shooting protesters and having generals executed. That's not his fault, see? It's not his fault.
It's somebody else's fault.
Yeah. I didn't watch the clip, and I just told y'all that Trump said she should be put in front of a firing squad.
Maybe if you haven't seen the clip, say, well, I haven't seen it, but from the context you're describing.
Yep.
Or a qualifier like that, instead of just viscerally responding with emotion like a baby.
This is one of the worst I fucked up things I've ever read. I mean, this for me is right up there with that chick on YouTube who played the ukulele in her apology song.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, except I respected the effort on that one.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas Jonah's just lazy. And I bet he smells like old farts.
I bet that girl does too, though.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, still, I was wrong to say he was calling for a firing squad execution. After I said that, my co-panelist Brad Todd made the case that I was wrong. Brad was right, and again, I was wrong. Why didn't you admit that on there? Obviously, you clearly just told us you were given that information live.
He likes that CNN money coming in.
By the way, CNN kicked that one guy off their show or off their channel completely for saying, hopefully your pager doesn't go off to Meaty Hassan.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah will be back.
Of course.
The fact that Donald Trump has been shot at once and there was another guy taking aim at him, don't worry about that. It's perfectly fine to lie about this man and say that he's going to kill his political opponents.
Yeah, even though his political opponents are the ones trying to kill him and bankrupt him and put him in prison for the rest of his life.
Trump was making, albeit in his customary fashion, a different argument about Cheney's alleged foreign policy views.
Yeah, see, he's even calling Trump like stupid right here. These are the sophisticated betters of yours, guys. These are the people that want you to have ID cards for vaccinations, but not to vote.
Does anybody here think that Cheney's not a war hawk?
She's absolutely a war hawk, just like her old man.
As
long as she doesn't have to participate in the war, she's all for it.
Cheney's alleged foreign policy views and use of force. I let my disgust at Trump's comments get the better of me, as this was the first time I'd heard them. Well, did you hear the comments, or were you reacting to what you describe yourself as a bullshit setup? I mean, that's not the word you use, but if you heard his actual comments, there's no excuse for what you said. You just lied. But he's not done yet, Jack.
Of course not.
In fact, at the end of the program, having thought about it, I said as much, though I could have been clearer. A fact that has been left out of a lot of the criticism of me since this morning. In other words, I voluntarily conceded the point unprompted before any of the subsequent criticism came my way. Hey, what's it feel like being taken out of context, homie?
Yeah, it's almost like you got a taste of your own medicine, you baby.
You can find it at the 220 mark below. I regret the initial comment because it was inaccurate. No, it was a lie, sir. And contributed to the kind of overheated environment Trump thrives on.
So it's still Trump's fault, even though you're the one ratcheting up the rhetoric. What a douchebag.
Still Trump's fault. Trump's words were bad enough, but it's worth noting that a lot of the criticism about my inaccuracy itself is somewhat inaccurate, or at least incomplete, given my correction.
Fuck off.
You have the balls to whine about, and again, I haven't seen the other part where he supposedly takes the other view. But I don't care. You were part of the media and you got up there and lied after telling us just there that you did see it. You saw it. And you just got angry instead of paying attention to what was even said. And the one guy pointed it out to you that you were wrong. And it wasn't until later in the show that you realized, okay, maybe I was wrong. And you want me to care that people are pointing out what you literally said in relation to you lying about what Trump had said. For real? Why doesn't anybody trust the media?
Yeah, it's a mystery, isn't it?
A fucking thinker there. Every one of these little bastards were out there today with this shit. And none of them came out and made major corrections in any manner. Even this one, as close as we get to a mea culpa. And it's this motherfucker, it's still Trump's fault.
Because I hate him. He's a meanie head.
This is the rhetoric he thrives on. I feel like he's not thriving on you lying about him. I mean,
it's like getting caught cheating in class and blaming your problem of getting caught on the kid that you cheated off of.
Yeah. Like, hey, but he had the good answers.
Yeah. These people are such children.
It's disgusting. It is just disgusting.
Jonahs operating at 0.4 Fettermans.
I just want to remind you, this is the guy that told a story last week about how bad Donald Trump was to a military family. And the family came out immediately and went, this is bullshit.
Yet the one even said she was voting for him.
And he went on in that same article, and the entirety of the news picked it up to say rumors from John fucking Kelly about how Trump said he wanted to have Hitler's generals. But don't worry, you should totally trust that, even though we have this clear example of him being a lying shitbag. And this is also why I tell you guys, stop giving people credit for admitting they're wrong. That's not something you should be getting a pat on the back for.
Not political circles, no. If somebody in real life honestly admits that they're wrong, that's one thing. But any of these news entertainers or political bullshit artists, no, fuck them. They're full of crap. They're covering their own ass.
Even in real life, I mean, if somebody apologized, that was wrong. Okay, let it go. But if somebody does it over and over and over and over and over,
yeah, they're not sorry.
No. For too many people, admitting you're wrong has just become a way to go ahead and be a shitty person constantly. And just if you're called on it, oh yeah, I was wrong about that one, but I'm still a good person. Fuck you. And the media has lied so often that they should not be trusted. Period. This motherfucker just last week got busted by the people. He even quotes the girl who came out and said, no, Donald Trump was great to us in his article, but quotes their lawyer instead as a lawyer for the family. How connected she is to the family, I have no idea. But in the story, he's like, that statement didn't come from their lawyer. Well, sure. Okay. I guess that means something. Did you think about talking to the actual chick? No? Why would you? You'll just make an apology later. Fucking lying assholes. All right. Let's move along to some more media nonsense, because this one's funnier to me. Joe Rogan had JD Vance on the other day, Jack.
Yes, I saw that he did.
In it, at one point, the conversation drifts to the weirdness of the LGBTQ community. And JD Vance says something to the effect, I don't remember the exact quote, and maybe they'll show it on this video we watched, but something to the effect of, nobody has a problem with normal gays. It's the not normal ones that everybody is like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, unfortunately, that confused the people at CNN.
Oh, of course it did.
Because Anderson Cooper just doesn't know what normal gay means, which I have no doubt about. I have no doubt that this guy's like, what's it mean to be normal? You just know he wears nipple clamps under his suit. All right.
Thanks for that image.
You're welcome.
To know what the different where the line is between a normal gay person and a not normal gay person.
I mean, the question is,
I'm assuming.
Can't figure that line out, huh? I don't want you around children. If you can't figure out what's not normal, I don't, and this goes for straight people too. I don't want you around children. Hey,
I don't want you around anybody.
Anderson, if you saw a straight guy walking down the street wearing a banana hammock the way that Borat did, would you consider that normal? Because your people have parades where they dress like that. I don't understand what normal is. Thank you, Dangerous. Trump is an evil person for talking about shooting someone in the face. Motherfuckers. You're celebrating Cheney's dad endorsing Kamala, a man who actually shot someone in the face. The fuck? I know. There's so many things wrong with their whole thing about he said he wants her shot. No, he didn't, first of all, but that's just the surface level of what's wrong with what they were saying. I don't know anybody who doesn't know what JD Vance meant by this and has been conscious for the last 10 years. I mean, we had I think it was in San Francisco where it happened, but they had a gay pride parade where a lady laid naked in a blow-up pool and allowed people to urinate on herself or on her. Yeah. I don't know what the line is between normal and not normal. You had naked guys on bicycles pull up in front of children with their junk hanging out at eye level. I don't know what normal is.
Well, yeah, pretty much go to a pride festival and not any of that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, actually. Yes. Hey, Anderson, if you're really confused, just pull up video pride parades. You had arguments that you should bring children to these pride parades with all the kink and stuff. And they were like, no, it's good for children to learn this. Not normal, dickhead. I don't know what normal is. I have no doubt. And I think you should be on a list for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And again, I mean this the same. If I saw heterosexual people acting like this, I'd want them on a fucking list too.
Absolutely.
If there was a heterosexual pride parade and there was a lady laying in a blow-up pool and people were urinating on her, yeah, that's not no. They're the party of women though, Jack. So maybe it was empowering for her. These are people who have come out and claimed that their kink is part of their identity that needs to be celebrated. That's their excuse for this shit. Do you know what kink means? It's not normal societal behavior, dickheads. I don't know what he means. Anyway, let's get back to nipple clamps here.
Assuming I can guess what it is, like, you know, anything related to drag, I guess in you know, that drag, you know, wearing as much makeup as Donald Trump wears.
It's drag. No, homie.
No, he's already that gender.
It goes so much deeper than. I love this nonsense. It's just drag. No. Stormy Daniels, thank you. Trump shot me in the face, then paid me off with a pearl necklace. Good for you, sweetie.
We're all happy for you.
And see, all JD Vance is doing is slamming drag queens here, and Trump wears so much face makeup. You're on television right now, so don't even talk about people wearing makeup. You have caked on makeup for the 4K crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody on television is not wearing makeup because it ends up making you look very pale. All right.
That would be considered not normal. It's fine for Donald Trump, but on a gay guy, that wouldn't be considered normal.
Yep, that's all it is. A little bit of makeup, Jack. That's it.
Just the makeup.
That's the only weird thing about pride and shit. So honestly, at this point, that is just blatant lying. He knows better.
He doesn't care.
This is why I tell you guys, as much as I hate what Democrats have become, the press, Donald Trump is right about the press being the enemy of the people. They are just fucking liars. They lie to you constantly. If you had somebody in your life who everything they said to you, you were like, I have got to check that and make sure it's true. Would you consider them even friends? Jack, I went to school with this chick who was pregnant like 46 times in just our sophomore year. It was a big joke around the school, like, oh God, she's pregnant again. She was never pregnant. And as far as I know, there's only one nasty dude who did bang her.
Ew.
But she got attention for it. She would go around and whisper it to people, don't tell anybody, but I might be pregnant. Nobody trusted her. Rightfully so. But when it comes to our media, that chick would be like heading a CNN show. She would be their top reporter because all you got to do is fucking lie and you can be in the press. And then they get mad when people call them liars.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens.
And literally will ask the question, why doesn't America trust the press? It's because Donald Trump, he told you guys we're the enemy. He's the reason you don't like us.
Yeah, it's not because they're a bunch of liars.
For a lot of people, it is probably true that Donald Trump is the reason that they don't like the press, but only because you keep lying about Donald Trump. That's not the same thing. Mr. E says, oh my fucking God, I knew a bitch like that in school too. Monkey. It's a very easy way for him to get attention. All right. We got to move along, Jack. Let's talk about Hasan Piker.
Ugh, why?
Don't worry, we're not speaking about him directly this time. Instead, we are going to be speaking about Twitch, because Twitch kicked off Asmongold like last week. I still have not seen why, but it's pretty much irrelevant to the story. Asmongold reportedly has said he deserved to be kicked off, and again, that's irrelevant to the story. What it did do, though, is get a whole bunch of people going, wait a minute, how come Asmongold gets kicked off, but Hasan gets to be a racist little piece of shit? And in response to that, Twitch kicked off a couple of pro-Palestinian people.
But not Hasan.
Like Frogan. Not Hasan. No, not Hasan. No. Are you kidding? They're cash cow?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dangerous. It's simple. A normal gay man is a dude who sleeps with and is attracted to other dudes. An abnormal gay man is a dude who thinks and any additional beliefs or actions define the identity of being gay. Well, I would even say a normal gay guy, gay is not his identity. It's part of who he is, but it's not all of who he is.
It's not the only thing he has to talk about.
Yeah. Frogan the Hut, man, that little fat bitch, I hate her so much. Anyway.
Frogan sounds like another like a generic knockoff of Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Like, hey, let's do something very, very similar about two chicks that have to drop a tiara into a whirlpool, and they come across Frogan.
Jordan says, oh, you're not going to talk about the new Hasan game, Twitch or Terrorist, where you guess where the quote is from. I'm glad that exists. I was thinking of something like that myself, but I didn't have time to go pull up Hasan quotes. But Jack, this has gone beyond. So this blows up in Twitch's face because the Arab people are mad. The terrorist people are mad. The Hasan crowd is mad because they kicked off
the same thing 3 times.
I need to delineate, because we're on YouTube.
Yeah, fair.
And they're all mad because how dare you kick off terrorist supporters? Which has gotten this more attention than it would have been if they would have just given Hasan a slap on the wrist. including going all the way to the halls of Congress.
What?
Oh no. And not from a Republican.
What?
Yeah. Representative Richie Torres warns of amplification of anti-Semitism on Twitch, including, quote, poster child streamer Hassan Piker. So,
well, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. No. Democratic Representative Richie Torres is sounding the alarm about an explosion of Jew hatred on the online streaming platform Twitch since the October 7th terrorist attack, singling out popular political commentator Hassan Piker, according to a letter exclusively obtained by the Post. So yeah, Richie Torres wrote them and like, you guys are propping up this piece of shit who keeps, pushing Jew hatred. Sorry, I forgot the Daily Stormer talking point. Israel hatred.
Oh no, Zionists. He only hates Zionists.
Yeah. He's anti-Zionist. I love that so many leftists use that. It's literally Daily Stormer talking points.
Yep.
But they're like, no, not for us. We really do only hate the Jews running the place.
Well, you see, at least their talking points have been updated since the Klan handbook came out.
Yeah. And look, if everything was equal, Hassan would be allowed to go up there and say whatever anti-Jewish shit he wanted to. The problem is that only goes one way. Nick Fuentes would get kicked off of Twitch for saying the exact things that Hassan Piker says.
Yep.
So that we don't allow hate. In fact, Jack, this blew up to the point where the dude who runs Twitch, Daniel Clancy, he needed to clarify some stuff for us.
That's always a sign of not guilty.
I want to make clear Twitch stands firmly against hate and harassment of any form. You can read more about our commitment to safety and belonging on Twitch here, which leads us to this little piece. Hate and harassment have no place on Twitch. Now, I want to remind you, though, that this all started because they kicked Asmongold off. And instead of being even-handed about everything, this is a problem with all social media. Anytime they're like, we're going to crack down on hate and violent speech and anything that hurts our feelings, they only do it one-sided. And there are so many examples of the other side being as bad, if not worse, that anytime they're like, no, we just don't tolerate this, it's not credible.
Yeah. What's the name of that guy again?
Daniel Clancy.
Sorry, I have to inform him of something. Twitch CEO, yeah.
It's DJ Clancy 999 on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I did respond to him, not that he paid any attention. But the problem is you don't enforce this across the board. Yeah. And this is a guy who has openly praised Hassan for being willing to share his opinions like that.
There, I had to share with him the Marsha Brady.
Sure, Jan. To the Twitch community, over the past few weeks, we've seen members of the community voice concerns about how we handle potentially harmful content. Just want to remind you that Hassan said that I don't remember if he used the actual term white, but people at rich colleges should be raped.
Yeah.
That's where you should be raping people. That's from Hassan. Now, look, I'm sure he was trying to make a joke there.
It's hard to tell with him sometimes.
It really is. But this is the same guy who hosted a Houthi pirate, even promoted the event as hosting the Houthi pirate on his channel. Yeah. And just not to have a deep journalistic interview. No. To pump him up and talk about how attractive he is and ask him about One Piece.
Oh, we have a phrase for that. It's giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
But hey, you guys have been concerned about this. We need to assuage those concerns as we, continue to promote this shitbag terrorist supporting asshat.
Yep.
There is no place on Twitch for racism. Hasan, after you guys kick people off for using cracker as a racial slur, repeatedly used it as a racial slur specifically.
Yep.
And he got a tiny slap on the hand for it. That's it. There's no place for racism unless Hasan does it or anybody else who hates white people.
Yeah, they don't care if you hate white people and you're bringing money in. That's all that matters to them. This guy's a piece of garbage.
This led to an argument over whether or not some racial slurs are okay.
Oh, one's directed at white people? Yeah, probably.
That was a whole ass argument that happened.
Oh, I don't know.
There's no place for racism, hatred, or harassment of any kind, including anti-Semitism, and wait for it, Islamophobia.
Oh, God.
Hasan's being called out for being a fucking anti-Semite, and how do they respond? Look, there's no place for anti-Semitism or Islamophobia.
You're being Islamophobic because he's Turkish or some shit.
No, it's not even that. It's that instinctively, anytime that they have to come out, and we've seen this with the news media, we've seen it with the White House. If you say, hey, could y'all stop being rude to Jews and Muslims? Doesn't matter if anything's being said about Muslims or not.
They're scared of them. They blow shit up.
Twitch is and will always be about belonging. Really?
Yeah, right.
Each day, people come together on our service to build community around shared interests and to express themselves authentically. Really? For this to be possible, we work hard to ensure that our community is a safe place.
For Jew hatred.
For Jew hatred, yeah. As long as you hate Jews, it's fine. Our community guidelines are okay.
Flexible.
He says foundational, but I got stuck. When you're calling them guidelines, how can they be foundational?
I mean, you could build a house on sponges, but it will eventually fall down.
Like these things that we arbitrarily enforce sometimes, that's foundational to us.
Sometimes they're foundational. Sometimes they're important.
Thank you, Job for 9. So, Monkey, who's going to win the election? At this point, I think Trump has it. There's a lot of stuff over the last 24 hours where they're trying to play it up that Kamala's surging. I saw one thing today. Some people are saying that Trump has stalled. Like, okay, even if he's stalled, he's ahead by every measure we have. It could go the other way. It's not a sure thing, but with everything I've seen, I think Trump wins it right now.
It's never a sure thing as long as there's fortification opportunities.
True.
But I think if we have an honest election, Trump will win.
All right, wait. Our community guidelines are foundational. And when we find content that breaks those rules, we take immediate enforcement action. This will always be the case. No, you don't.
That's comedy gold you're reading here.
There's a ton of stuff. I mean, Hasan is one of the worst for this, where if you take his words and you put in any other group, nobody would deny it's racism.
Yep.
Nobody would even. There's one where it's even a trans guy is arguing with Hasan over Hasan had somebody on the show. I forget who it was. And a bunch of trans people were mad because this guy's apparently a transphobe or whatever. And he ends up telling this trans person that they deserve whatever happens to them as a trans person.
Well, the son has come out as Muslim, so.
Right. I mean, it makes sense from that. But this was him supposedly standing up for trans people by telling a trans person basically that he hopes he gets killed.
Oh, it sounds like Hasan.
Q, thank you. Reminds me when Ilhan Omar shit all over the Jews, so Congress went to pass a resolution condemning her. But then the Dems threw a fit, and it turned into a all hate is bad generic nothingness. Yeah, it's what happens every fucking time.
Absolutely.
FL, thank you. Reminder: this guy once donated $20,000 to a literal tea organization posing as a charity that with explicit knowledge of exactly what it was.
Oh yeah, he's proud of it.
Yeah. Millions of streamers with wide variety of views and perspectives spend time on Twitch, but only some of them are allowed to express those opinions.
Yep.
We recognize
shut up.
We recognize that some content, while allowed on our service, may be objectionable to some members of the community. The views shared by streamers on Twitch are not the views of Twitch, nor are they my personal views. But you have personally endorsed Hasan.
It wouldn't surprise me if this guy completely agrees with Hasan.
We're grateful for the feedback and input from our community. I'm sure you were just so happy to sit down and have to write this.
Oh, he knows most people are just going to eat it up and be like, oh, okay. Real quickly, though, thank you, Evolved Potato. I just want to remind everybody that Hasan makes most of his money by just stealing other people's content.
True.
Yeah, well, he's a garbage person, so.
Our safety approach continues to build and evolve as our service grows. We want to assure that anyone can find their place on Twitch and remain except you Jews, be careful, and remain committed to ensuring that hate and harassment have no place here.
Is he trying to convince us or himself?
Himself. Look, you have a Democratic congressperson who come out. Richie Torres. I reached out to AOC and asked her if she had any comment about her colleague saying that her gaming buddy was an anti-Semite. She didn't get back to me.
Yeah, I think we know why.
Yeah. This has gone all the way to the halls of Congress, man.
Good.
And this is a guy who has been promoted by people like AOC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for free speech, and I'm trying to think of anything that I could say Hasan should probably, be silenced for, and I can't think of anything. But the other side should have equal opportunity to say the same shitty shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's the problem. It's the hypocrisy is staggering.
Yeah, it is so one-sided, and then it's so one-sided, and they try to pretend. No, we totally do our due diligence in making sure everyone is equally treated. If we see any hate, unless it's from Hasan, we get rid of it immediately.
If we see any hate that's not making us money, then it gets shut down.
The thing the little terrorist supporters all got kicked off for after Hasan or after Asmongold got kicked off was for more than, I think it's like a month before. It wasn't even their newer shit, like where Frogan says that she hopes people in the military all either die or get severe PTSD.
Jesus.
That's not hateful. That's not wishing people dead or severely psychologically damaged. No big deal. That's not hateful at all.
Psychopath.
For fuck's sake, man. The more insane you are to the left over there, the bigger you get. That's just fact.
Sure looks that way.
Old Cenk was not happy though, Jack.
I'm shocked.
Shit, I closed Richie Torres' thing. He's the one that had retweeted. Let me see if I can find it real fast. He actually calls out Cenk twice. It's kind of funny. Oh, is it all up in the original post? Oh, this is not the right Richie Torres account. This is his personal account. I need his other one. That's not worth it. He just points out that Cenk is just mad because he called out his nephew.
Yeah, well, he probably is.
All right.
Cenk probably agrees with most of what his son says.
Oh, undoubtedly. All right. So it's time for our election fraud coverage, Jack.
Oh.
And we do need to talk about this one. This was going around a couple of days ago about machines that were changing votes. And of course, the usual suspects were like, that's not happening, except it's literally on video.
That means it rarely happens. Are we at that stage, or it happens, but that's a good thing? Yeah.
Actually, hold that thought, because I do want to discuss that seriously. So this is a chick who is trying. We do not need the sound for this. She's trying clearly to vote for Donald Trump. Click, click, nothing. Won't go, won't go. Switches hands, presses it, and we get a Kamala Harris vote. It's literally on video, Jack.
Yeah.
And even the people who responded to this at the state level and everything do not deny the reality of this video.
Jesus Christ.
They just don't think it's happening. I realize that might sound contradictory.
Yeah, you think? Just a little.
This machine was pulled from the machines that people were voting with.
Did they test all the other machines to make sure they're not
doing
the same thing? No, of course not.
No. Well, I'll explain why. See, they pulled it off the floor and they could not recreate it.
Uh-huh.
Now,
right. Maybe it's set up to not work in diagnostic mode.
There can be a legit explanation for this, and it's what pisses me off about how they treated this. According to a story I read about this, the woman who did this voting, she did get her vote, and you mentioned you guys use touch screens and you get a little printout.
Yeah.
If you use touch screens, check your printout, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Don't just be like, yes, because shit can happen. You're using computers. We should not be using touch screens. I've been saying this since they were fucking introduced.
Yep. Paper ballots.
If you've worked on anything mechanical, whether you're talking computers or actually like cars or anything, you ever have a problem with your car and you take it in and the mechanic's like, it's not doing that.
Yep. All the time.
And then, you take your car home and it keeps doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There was an instance when I worked at the machine shop where the brakes kept going out on the high-low, the fork truck. And I told the guy who's supposed to take care of that shit, I told his boss, I told everybody. And since he was my direct supervisor and when he drove it, it didn't do it, I was a liar until I couldn't stop it one day and put it through a wall. But
since like, why didn't you tell anyone about this?
No, actually, they were like, oh, yeah, you were right. Sorry about that. I do give him credit for that, but he called me a liar for so long, I didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
Instead of actually checking the brakes, he got in it, just drove it a little tiny bit, and like, no, it's not happening to me, so it can't be happening. There are bugs in video games that will literally only happen in a 1 in a million chance. And so it happens and it gets reported as a bug, and they're like, hey, that's not happening. It turns out to be something like the third letter in your name is an E. And if somebody with that logs in on the 4th of September in an even year, it can cause this bug. So they come out and say, we tested it and we couldn't recreate it. And then they say, don't get your news from people. They say on TikTok, and they specifically mention cat turd, but basic, don't get your stuff from social media, guys. It still happened. We have video proof that it happened. There is something wrong with that machine. Whether you can recreate it every fucking time or not is irrelevant, because it clearly happened.
Nope. That's don't believe your lying eyes there, bucko.
This literally could be, there's a small fracture in the screen nobody can see, or her voter ID caused some kind of glitch in the system that's perfectly legit, guys. That's not any kind of cheating or purposeful malfunction.
Yeah, but nobody's going to believe that now, because their denial that this even happened when it's on video just makes them look like they have something to hide and that they're liars.
Their answer should have been, it clearly happened. We couldn't recreate it, but out of an abundance of caution, we are warning everybody, make sure you double check. we're telling everybody, make sure you check that, because there was a weird thing that happened one time. And instead they're like, how dare you listen to those fuckers who have video proof?
Yeah. Why you believe in your lying eyes over your government?
One of my favorite things to do is read about or watch videos more often about really rare bugs that happen in games and how they find them. Typically, they find them on accident. They're trying to recreate it. They can't. They give up. And then they're doing something else later, and that bug pops up at them. You can't just say, no, it's fine. No, there's clearly a problem. And again, I'm glad I don't know if Kentucky does it or not, but they should give you a paper ballot that shows what you voted for, and you should double check the shit out of that thing. Whether you're voting for Trump or Kamala or Jill Stein or anyone else, always check. And to the assholes, the story that I read, Jack, they were like, by the way, this comes from the Republicans who are running this when they say don't listen to that stuff online. I don't give a fuck what they are. They're stupid.
Yeah.
You guys have, most of you, I'm sure, have touch phones. You ever play games on your phone and you go to touch somewhere on the screen and it clearly pops something else that happens?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a touch screen. Touch screen should not be used for voting. They just should not be. They have a whole host of issues before you ever get to the fucking programming part of it. A couple of pixels screwed up somewhere, Jack, is all it takes. But none to see here, guys. None to see. And all you're doing is making people think that you're hiding something. You're out there pretending.
It's the dismissiveness.
Yeah. Instead of admitting, yes, we found a problem, we're taking care of it, and we're doing our. How dare you fuckers have proof? Nicholas Daly, it's your birthday. This one is for you. What? And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nicholas.
Dear Nicholas Daly.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one. I really do. When you were a kid, did your mom be like, we're not getting you a cake. You just had a bunch of candy? I'm just wondering.
What if you made a candy out of, or a cake out of candy?
I believe that's called the diabetic special.
Oh, yeah.
That's called the Wilford Brimley. The fact that you're not allowed to question anything tells you everything you need to know. It doesn't. But it does make it seem that way, doesn't it? I mean, we have clear examples of election fraud already happening. That the whole thing in Pennsylvania with Lancaster, New York, and I forget the name of the other 3 counties that are now doing investigations.
Levittown and I forget the others, but yeah.
It's clear it happened, and denying it, all it does is that gives us reason to doubt your motives.
Yeah, it not only looks like you're creating a conspiracy, it looks like you're in on it.
Yes.
Like the cover up is always worse than the crime. Just say, look, there's some issues, we're working on it, and then move on. That's all they had to do. Instead, they're like, no, don't believe any of that video evidence you have, you dumb fuck.
We found 60% of these voting applications are fraudulent, and we are going to bring the full weight of law enforcement against the people who did this. Nope. Instead, it's like, he claimed that there was fraud, and there's no reason to believe that, despite it, being true.
Despite the obvious.
There are clearly people, and fuck, for all you know, it could be a conservative group being shitheads.
Yep.
Just trying to frame the shit. I'm not saying it is, guys. I'm just saying they don't know. And instead of saying that, they're like, yeah, there's no proof that we couldn't find anything. Nothing. That was MSNBC.
We've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
We couldn't find. It's on fucking video. We couldn't find. We're not sure if they were closing down the lines early. It's on fucking video.
No.
Fuck, what's his name? I had it and I just lost it. The guy who just quit the Washington Post. Hugh Hewitt. Did you see him walking off that show today?
I saw him. I saw the clip of him walking off. I didn't actually see the interaction.
Okay, so Hugh Hewitt, he's a conservative commentator. He writes for the Washington Post, which he says is no big deal because he only does like one post every 6 months or 6 weeks.
Well, he used to.
But yeah, but he also goes on like their TV shows and stuff. He has his own radio program. I've listened to Hugh before. I disagree with him sometimes. More often than not, we probably agree. But the host of their TV show was setting up the story about how Donald Trump is Donald Trump setting it up to make people think that that this election isn't secure with like what's going on in York County, or not York County. Is it Barnes? I forget the county where they kicked the chick out of line, or where they closed the line down and the chick recorded it. And he goes, wait. I think it's important that for news stuff, you should point out that Donald Trump sued about that and won. And this guy's like, I do not think you should be lecturing me about how we should be doing the news.
Wow, what a dick.
Yeah, and that's when Hugh gets up and he goes, this is the worst fucking political ad I've ever been part of. So yeah, it was funny. But he did the right thing pointing it out, because this guy's just framing it that Donald Trump is claiming that they were closing down these lines. Is he just setting it up so that he can challenge the election? And he's like, but he won that. Aren't you guys the ones who always point to there's no court wins? And this guy got mad about it. It was funny. Evolved Potato, thank you. I do find it strange that nearly all the glitches go one way. Yeah, shit happens, but it does start to look like a pattern after a while. And they always deny it and downplay and denounce anyone questioning. It makes people think. That's fair. I just caution you to make sure that not to always assume everything is intentional. That's all.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. The look of impropriety will make most disregard it if something is truly legitimate. Yeah, if there's video evidence of the machine not working right, they're going to ignore their stupid claims because they look like they're up to something. And apparently, I think they are.
Most of the stuff you will see about this, they do not show the video. When they're like, hey, they're saying it's switching votes, but that's just not happening. They won't show the video. So the people sitting at home, all they hear is people are lying about a vote being switched.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think, oh my God, look at these crazy people. It's happening again. They're trying to January 6th us again. Like, no, it literally happened. The same thing with the lines getting shut down early in Pennsylvania on the last day of voting, last day of early voting. Like, oh, we couldn't find any evidence of. We're looking. Somebody sent us the videos, but we decided not to watch them because we were looking so hard for the evidence. And yeah, so the people at home
on the golf course.
Yeah, the people at home just get this. Oh, people are just claiming it. It's literally on video. And if they showed it, the people at home would be like, it's right there. There's the evidence. The denial is further fraud. Faithless. Thank you. The biggest fraud of both 2020 and so far 2024 is the shit the press is pulling. The press denying this, like that fucking NBC clip, 2 different things that there's video evidence of that. We don't know. We're not sure. That is the real fraud that's been going on in our elections. Yes, there's other stuff that's gone on too that is fraudulent, but nothing on the scale of what the media has pulled. Nothing on the scale. And this is what the New York Times went after Ben Shapiro for saying, because that's what Ben's been pointing out too. You're welcome, Ben. Is that the real fraud of 2020, the massive voter fraud of 2020 was what the press did.
Yep.
It was blatant bullshit propaganda from the left passed off as unbiased and trustworthy news. Dangerous, thank you. I hate our media here in Australia. Just listening to the news play in the other room talking about how it's crazy to suggest there was any fraud in 2020 or will be this election. Fucking bullshit. Yeah, we've already had more provable fraud in this election than they had in 2020.
Oh, people are looking for it now. They're
And
more attuned to what's going on and recording stuff.
And recording it. Yes, get your cameras out. Because, yeah.
Anytime your government's doing something, film it.
Yes, 100%. I'm actually surprised they haven't gone after the people who filmed this.
They will.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they will.
In the video where they're saying that voting has been basically canceled, Jack. They're supposed to be open until 4:30. They closed down at 1:45, or at least they ended the line at 1:45. Nobody else was allowed in. And in that one, there's two people there wearing lanyards with little badges on them. And they're kind of presenting themselves as election officials, but they're not. They're just paid Democratic operatives.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. They were there for election integrity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Depends how you define election integrity.
I do worry about the fraud. And hey, for anybody who's like, there's no fraud. Chinese dude, Michigan, look it up. I do worry about that stuff, but I do hope the too big to rig thing is real.
Yeah. That's why everybody that's supporting him needs to go out and vote.
I don't think the media believes their own nonsense about how well Kamala's doing, or they wouldn't have spent the last 4 days telling two ridiculous lies.
Yeah. Not even good.
He called everybody in Puerto Rico garbage. He didn't.
Oh, you're all floating garbage.
Dude's a comedian who told a joke. Trump hates Puerto Rican. No, shut up. And now he tried to kill Liz Cheney. He shot her 4 times. It just shows how desperate they are.
Yeah.
They are desperate.
Yeah, it's looking really, really obvious now.
I do think that we're going to have some issues. I saw a thing today that some people don't think the election results will be known for a month. There would be no excuse for that.
There's no excuse to not know it election day.
Oh, it gets even better though, Jack. The whole reason for it, and who was it? God, I wish I could remember who said it. It's because of the Electoral College.
Bullshit.
The Electoral College that has literally been a part of our election since the first one is a bad thing. That's going to cause this to take at least a month because Donald Trump will use it to question everything. I'm like, huh?
What a load of shit.
He's going to use the Electoral College to question everything, and that's going to take a month. Huh. Sure, I guess. I mean, unless this is a massively decisive win one way or the other, I have no doubt there's going to be court challenges going forward, Jack.
Oh, of course. There's always court challenges, but
always are. Yeah.
It's got to be such a massive win for Trump that it's going nowhere, and they don't get to delay it anymore.
At this point, I mostly hope Trump wins for 2 reasons. One, as I've said, the whole reason I'm voting for him, Democrats cannot be allowed to get away with what they've pulled with lawfare.
Yeah.
But 2, the meltdown is going to make 2016 look like liberals were calm.
Yeah, if Harris wins, I expect there'll be a lot more political trials.
Oh, sure. Fuck. We watched what Donald Trump said, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that thing. Let's give Cheney a gun and have guns trained on her and see how she likes it. The AG of Arizona is investigating whether or not they need to press charges against him for threats of political violence.
That's fucking dumb.
Yep. This was reported by some channel. I have the link. I'm just not pulling it up. But the reporter said that when he talked to her, the AG there in Arizona, she had just got off the phone with her criminal division where they were looking into this. That's what they're spending your money on, Arizona. Whether or not the guy who was literally shot by a crazed supporter of the left, when he said that basically put Liz Cheney into war and see how she likes it, whether he was threatening her life. Sure, why not? Don't remind me, Monk. Sorry, Nicholas. Yeah. You know what's funny? Carrie Lake has been doing very poorly out there in her Senate run. But polls have closed and she's getting closer, and there is a chance she could be the next senator from Arizona and be in the Senate with Adam Schiff, which I think would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be hilarious on so many levels.
That would be amazing. Because unlike Kamala or AOC, when you see Carrie Lake speaking, she's not speaking often from a teleprompter, especially when she's responding to the news. Love her or hate her, she knows her stuff.
Yeah, she's been in the media for decades.
Thank you, James. You guys see Amber Duke shred Nakomi or Namaki on the Hill? It's quite funny thing to watch. Hope y'all have a great day. Thank you so much. No, I did not.
Thanks, James. No, I don't think I saw that either. I haven't been online very much today, though. So.
I'm not even sure who Amber Duke or Nakami are. Namaki.
We've talked about Nomeki, whatever her name is. We've talked about her before.
There's a lot of times where we've talked about people, and we talk about so many media personalities that
it's just sort of in one ear or out the other. Eventually, there's only so much space up there, and we're getting old. So,
I'm pulling it up now, but there we go. There's a smaller clip. Oh, that is really fucking. Why is everything? Do I have my volume way up or something? No.
I think you're just super hearing.
Oh no, this is a different thing. If you have a clip and want to send it to me on Twitter, I'll take a look at it. But so hard to do that during the show. Sephorus, thank you. I just watched the Hugh Hewitt clip. I'm surprised he didn't walk sooner. Yeah. I don't know how you can be a conservative on some of the channels that they're on without just telling everybody to go fuck themselves. Dangerous, thank you. The news report here said Trump was wrong to say they're cheating in Pennsylvania. There's evidence. That's where the lines were shut the fuck down. Wits, plus the 60 cases failed. Those cases were never even heard. Pennsylvania is also the place I've been telling you, Dangerous, where they got those massive drops of voter applications, and in Lancaster it was 60% were fraudulent, and in York County they did the number that came back was 28%, Jack.
Oh.
So I don't know what your news folks are saying, but there's absolutely been fraud in Pennsylvania. There's been cheating in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And they can sit there and be like, hey, it's not widespread. I'd still say 60% of ballots are, but what they can't say is it's not happening at all. That would be a lie.
Soon they'll say it's a good thing.
Oh, dear Christ. One of my little nut huggers is upset. I made a joke about this picture, Jack. This is from Harry Sisson.
I saw that.
Now got a little gang of, let's call them what they are, gay kids. And he posted this and it said, real men support or protect women's right to health or something like that. And he says, white guys for Kamala Harris. And I simply said, It looks like a movie poster for a movie called Date Rape. And yeah, my little nut hugger. Oh, you think rape's funny?
Well, it can be.
My joke was.
Your joke was hilarious.
Just saying. I just love that he put real men. Like, where? Are they behind the giant IUD?
Yeah. Did you see my response?
I did not.
The tagline should be,
I did, yes.
Yeah, the tagline is this: does this rag smell like chloroform?
I did, because I even liked it.
Yeah.
I see no real men. I know, right? Is this group called the Sissies? Harry Sisson and the Sissies. They're a band.
They all look like they're like, is she passed out yet? Like, thumbs up if she's drunk.
Right?
I go firsties.
I also love that his post is supposed to be, you know, like about supporting abortion. And he's showing a picture of them standing in front of a giant contraceptive.
Yeah. If he was my son, I'd disown him. I would too, Eagle. I would too.
I see, there's nothing I can say. This is one of those times I wish we were allowed to say whatever we want on here, because I have a great retort to that. But I can't say it because they'd be like, you're spreading violence.
Oh, you're saying the mean words.
I just feel like Harry Sisson's mom's uterus should be punished.
Well,
and his dad's sperm as well, or at least where they come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm guessing she got rode so hard one of the blue gumballs fell out early, and then that happened.
I think she probably only ever had blue gumballs.
That's a possibility. It's a frightening one, but it's a possibility.
They're standing in front of a statue of an IUD. Yeah, those have been popping up in Democratic things lately. I don't know why, but sure.
Do people still use IUDs? Because weren't they they're plastic now, right, instead of metal? Because did they have a problem with them like digging into the uterus and making women sterile?
I have no idea, but I do know they still use them.
Huh.
Or they were last I knew.
Whatever.
Speaking of fairies, we got Tim Walz here doing the Democrat thing of projection.
And hypocrisy.
If you're a billionaire, Elon Musk, for example, say, that guy got it.
Yeah, that gay guy.
That gay guy with the 12 kids.
That he found this infinitely funny that he called somebody gay.
Yeah.
Like, are you 12, dude?
Look, I find calling people gay funny from time to time, but when Walz does it, it just doesn't come off the same.
No, it's a little weird and kind of creepy when he does it.
But especially when, I mean, your sperm is so dysfunctional, they have to supercharge it to give your wife a chance to get pregnant.
Well, now, see, I've heard he's a knucklehead, so he may not have known which hole to put it in.
It might be. And we saw the results of it at the DNC when they showed your kid on television.
Oh,
that's
my God.
That's what happens with lazy sperm.
So many comments, and all of them are mean.
You're so gay, even your sperm doesn't like vagina, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel bad for his kid because this is his dad.
This is the guy who just the other day said that we need to get name calling out of politics.
Yeah. Did you see his new campaign ad?
No.
Would you like to?
Sure.
Third link.
I did see the one with Kamala and Shapiro, and that just made me laugh. Well, it's funny because Yashir Ali is the one who tweeted it out, and he went, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, it's just them looking at the camera, sitting together. I've never seen this before. this shows the popularity of Shapiro. I'm like, what?
The fuck is he talking about?
People have done that kind of speaking directly to the camera thing pretty much my whole life. And they played clips over most of it as they're talking, but like, look how popular he is. If he was as popular as you want me to believe, he'd be the VP nominee. The problem is he's in the Democratic Party, and they kind of have a problem with Jews.
Yeah, they don't like him.
But it was just so weird. Like, I've never seen this before. Like, is this your first time? Q, thank you. I remember Harry Sisyphus from my high school class on Greek mythology. The main thing about him was he was eternally playing with the biggest balls you can imagine. Fair enough. Okay. Oh my God.
Put him in, coach.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
America, to turn the page on Donald Trump, it's going to take all of us.
Actually, no, it only takes 50% plus one.
Look, your hate facts have no place here. This is a democracy.
Every single one of us has got to get out there and vote. That's how we'll build a country where everyone has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead.
And the reason you can't right now is because of that fucker Donald Trump, who's not president.
Where affordable health care is a right, where we lower housing costs, and where the government stays the hell out of your bedroom.
Oh, he's so manly. Do you hear that? Oh, they stay the hell out of your bedroom.
If you'd stop taking children into your bedroom, we'd stop talking about it so much.
Right?
As the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, we win.
I'm sorry, did he say fight?
Yes, that's violent rhetoric.
That is violent. He's calling for violence.
Absolutely.
If she loses, I'm going to go to his page and go, did you guys not fight? When we fight, we win. You lost. Shut up. Anyhow, then why do you keep asking about my sexual preferences? Hey, stop it. What a fucking idiot, man.
It's a terrible ad, and he's playing up that coach angle. I'm like, dude, nobody cares. That was like a long time ago for you.
Not to mention, he wasn't even the coach. He was the assistant.
Yeah, was he like a defense coordinator or something?
The defensive coordinator on a high school team, which means he made sure that the kids had Gatorade.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right. What the hell is this?
What's what?
The video you sent.
All right. Nothing.
This is the difference between men and women. When the man apologizes, he say, "I'm sorry." But for women, 5 years ago, never listen to me. Coming home late, never give me the attention. Not sorry. This is the difference.
Oh, fuck.
It's funny every time, too. Like, I love this guy. He is so right.
That is amazing.
No. Man, apologize. I'm sorry. Women.
Oh, man.
I dropped the link if you guys want to watch that.
Katie says, honestly, you're a woman. We understand.
Yeah, I mean, we get it.
I saw a video today of a woman who said that she's voting for Kamala Harris because a lot of other countries have had women and we're behind. We need to.
That's terrible reasoning. See, that's what I mean. Tiny girl brains.
If you think about it, Kamala has repeatedly told us how much the rest of the world looks up to us. Maybe, just throwing this out there, it's because they've had women leaders before and they know something we don't.
Yeah, they've been there. They're like, we should have followed the U.S.'s lead on this one.
Yeah, we look up to you guys. You haven't had a woman in charge yet.
You haven't had a woman ruin your stuff yet.
I mean, what a fucking dumbass, superficial reason to vote.
I'm telling you, man, there's just too many people like that. Their excuse is they're voting against Trump, or they're voting because it's time to have a woman leader. Well, how about a good one?
All right, now a story I really don't want to talk about because of what this shitbag did, but it needs discussed.
Uh-oh.
This is an illegal immigrant, Jack.
Shocker. That looks like a mugshot.
This is an illegal immigrant who was led into the country and told, hey, come back for your scheduled court appearance so we can decide if you can stay in the country. And guess what he didn't do with that court appearance?
Show up?
Yeah, you know what he did instead?
Murdered somebody.
He raped a 5-year-old.
That was probably in my top 5 guesses, so...
Don't worry, guys. They're all good people, and when we just let them into the country, you just hate Mexicans. A 5-year-old. A 5-year-old.
5-year-olds, dude.
And I'd just like to remind you that it was barely over a month ago that 158 Democrats in the House of Representatives voted not to make it a priority to get rid of people like this.
Yep. They want you uncomfortable and afraid, so you will depend on the government.
These are the people who keep telling you, Kamala the other day, we need to stop making the illegal immigration a fear thing so that people are thinking that illegals are so bad.
It's just mean. How
Right,
can
the
you
5-year-old.
do that?
And in fairness, I don't think this guy should be deported. I think he should be shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for making pedophilia an executable offense. It's the only way you're going to get him out of the gene pool.
That man abused a 5-year-old, and I'm supposed to care about how bad his country is, so he had to come to mine.
To spread his perversity here.
Yeah, and he just did this the other day. This is less than 2 weeks old. He was turned loose at the border and did not show up for his immigration hearing.
I'm so surprised.
Make them compete in a Running Man TV show only if it's guaranteed that at the end it's their end too.
Yeah, they're competing to get the merciful death.
I just want to point out that the media is losing their shit because Donald Trump suggested Cheney should have to fight in the wars she supports. And they ain't saying shit about this guy who raped a 5-year-old, this illegal who used Biden's system to rape a 5-year-old.
No, they don't care. They don't care about the kid. It's just a casualty because individuals don't matter to collectivists. So that's just a statistical casualty for the grand purpose of their glorious revolution or whatever it is they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
They don't care about the individual cost. They don't care about the face of their policies and what it results in. They really do not care.
Yeah, I don't like talking about stories like that. I try not to talk about children getting hurt, but I mean, this is an important thing because one of the people running for election right now, while she might not support child rape, she supports what allows it.
Yeah.
And no. Deport them all, and the ones who try to come over, I'm still with DeSantis on that. We should be firing at them.
Absolutely.
There's legal ways to do it. If you can't figure that shit out, don't do it. Because, yeah, we're done playing. We're done playing.
Yeah, my patience on this is getting thinner by the day because how many more of these stories do we have to hear before people actually do something about it? Are we that pussified now that we won't even defend our kids?
F. What did I die over there on Rumble? Anyway, Jack, yesterday was Friday.
Oh,
and
getting down on Friday?
The first Friday of the month is when the BLS labor report comes out.
Oh, indeed.
You probably noticed there was not major headlines about the BLS labor report.
Must have been bad.
They were expecting 112,000 new jobs added in October, and instead the number came in at 12,000.
What?
It was the experts' opinion of what it was probably going to be was off by 100,000, so that it's at 12,000. And when you consider that nearly every one of the BLS numbers have been revised down under the Biden administration, we probably lost jobs in October. And if you go by
embarrassing.
You go by the number of revisions down, we probably lost 50,000 jobs last month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Now, do you see why they're not talking about the jobs report?
A little bit, yeah.
And that's just the 7 million people who were looking for jobs, Jack. They couldn't find them. There's another almost 6 million people who have given up looking for work. The economy is on a downward trend, no matter what they tell you, if you pay attention to the actual numbers and stuff. And I have a feeling, especially if Kamala loses, we'll finally start to get those reports properly, because they'll start blaming it on Trump immediately.
Oh, absolutely, they will. Yeah.
They'll be like, the jobs retracted in October because Trump won the election in November.
Because Trump killed the border bill.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. But hey, who cares, right?
For fuck's
We got to get Kamala elected. Instead, they were touting the inflation rate for the year being at 2.1%. Look, I get it. You guys got inflation down to 2%, but that's after the major. You're not going to convince people who are still paying way too much for groceries that inflation has come down to where they don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not happening.
It is a dumbass argument to even make. Even Kamala's out there. She finally started embracing, yes, grocery prices are still too high.
Oh, but that's because of price gouging.
Yeah. So which is it? Is it inflation that she needs to fight with the first ever anti-gouging law on groceries at the federal level? Or is everything fine? I'm going to need that, brought together and it to make sense.
That's not going to happen.
It's just fucking stupid, man.
They're going to continue to lie to our faces about everything that's happening because that's what they're good at.
Yeah, we are 3 days from the election now, 4 days yesterday when this news breaks. And nobody in the media thinks the American people should pay any attention to that. Hey, the shitty job numbers, pay no attention.
Nothing to see here.
If it came in at 12,000, Jack, seriously, it's even possible we lost 100,000 jobs last month.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
This is the group that had to revise the previous year's number by 1 million, which if you do the math on that, 800 plus thousand a month. Or sorry, 100,000 plus 80,000 plus a month. So, sorry, I added a zero there. So you're talking negative 70,000? Nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see. Oh, God. What else happened today? That clip of Caitlin Collins when she was on with Colbert. And he said, now you guys are factually based and everything. And the audience started laughing. That was going, you know what? We're going to watch it again because it's funny as shit. Even though this is a few, what is it, months old now? Month old, something like that.
It's been a little while, yeah.
Now we're going to skip ahead in this long. We're going to go to her cleavage split. Because the funny part of it comes at the end and she's just talking.
It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. No, I know. CNN makes it. I know.
Is that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but.
Colbert's audience knows better.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. It's the best thing she ever did on TV, though. So I love that she's surprised by that.
Well, I mean, she shouldn't be.
But it'll never not be funny because I'm just saying. Let's see. Don't care about that one. That one, don't care. Okay, we need to talk about that ad you sent me, Jack. Unfortunately, we can't watch it because it's 2 minutes long and it would drive me nuts to watch the whole thing. Sorry. I've already seen it once. I can't do it to myself again. Logical Mail, thank you. Hey, fellas, hate to go off topic since Tim Pool's meltdown and linked to Russia. Did anyone hear what happened to Lauren Chen? Last I heard about Lauren Chen, she'd been subpoenaed by the whatever the legislative body is there in Canada to go testify, and she hasn't yet. That's literally as far as I know. Matt Christensen brought that up in his stream where he talked about Blonde leaving. But yeah, no idea at all. All right. So
I'm not saying she can hide in my subterranean love den. I'm just saying that you got to pay the rent if you do.
Now, you guys can't see this on the screen because it's under me and Jack's faces there, but on the screen it says, a warning from the future.
The future.
Apparently we're in Gaza.
Kind of.
Nice green screening, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's AI. I want to thank Understatement for sending me this because this is priceless.
You know, this woman's face, excuse me, I'm so sorry. That does look AI generated.
I think a lot of the images are either based on photographs or AI generated.
Frosted says, I heard it's AI. Yeah.
We weren't always like this.
They were always like this, Jack.
They were absolutely always like this.
This is actually my favorite part of it, so we'll probably watch more of this than we should.
We had a beautiful life. The best parties. The most beautiful friends.
That is the lamest fucking party I've ever seen, even in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like, look, there's a white girl who can't dance with a blue wig on.
I've been to parties thrown by D&D chess nerds that were more exciting than this one.
We thought it was just another election. So a lot of us didn't vote. Why bother?
Look at this
Everyone
lame-ass
knew the
party
system was
footage.
rigged. Many of us even voted for them. I know it sounds crazy now, but we didn't like Democrats back then.
You know what?
Yeah, the young people, especially college-age people, they hated Democrats. Dumbasses.
Right? I love that this city is burning and it looks like 2020 riots.
Yeah, yeah.
No, this right here on the screen is my pointer showing. Yeah, that's a tell for AI. They have a sign on the building, and it's not in any language. It's just random kind of letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not it's impressive for a dumbass ad, I suppose, but
yeah, I don't know what college kid threw this together. They obviously spent a little bit of time.
I just love that we didn't like Democrats back then. Sure.
This is written by somebody that wants to write from the perspective of a young Republican, but doesn't understand them at all.
Well, I love that, we didn't like Democrats back then, but their party footage was the chick with blue hair.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Let's go with that story. Whatever.
Back then, we were angry about the vaccine mandates and how they handled the war in Gaza.
I get what you're saying, that like this is supposed to be written from the perspective of because they even said earlier that we thought the election was rigged. I talked over it, guys. Sorry, I was laughing at them. But this is literally their fan fiction of what people think and do. And we didn't like how they handled the war in Gaza. Look, I know it's been brought up as it's gone on and stuff, but is the war in Gaza a major point for anyone in this election?
I don't think so. It's like abortion. They keep trying to make it a topic, but it's not sticking. Abortion
At least does stick with women. I mean, people have strong feelings about whether we should be spending money in Gaza and stuff, but if I'm going with this one, I go with Ukraine.
That would have made more sense, I think.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Cue Randy Marsh. We didn't listen. we didn't listen. I love that fucking episode. When they're running from global warming like they did in The Day After Tomorrow, and global warming actually catches him. And he falls on the ground. Oh. I haven't seen that in forever. I'll have to watch it again soon. All right.
And the way they wanted to censor free speech on the internet.
They want unquestioned obedience.
So what did we end up doing? We voted for the guys who openly said they wanted to imprison dissenters.
Except he didn't.
Well, I think Chuck Schumer and Jamie Raskin may have, but
yeah. Are you talking about Alvin Bragg?
And use the military against their political opponents.
You mean like all of those people who are like, why didn't the National Guard come out on January 6th? Probably not them either, huh?
No, we don't talk about them.
So yeah, you were wrong on that. Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
So
when Trump got sick and died, Vance was 39 years old when he became president.
Isn't Vance already 40?
Yeah.
Huh. How'd you fuck that one up?
I mean, laziness.
I saw a article about his wife today and how she's in on it, you guys. You would think she wouldn't be because she's an immigrant, and actually, isn't she the daughter of immigrants? And she's Hindu, and she's not going out there and arguing against her husband. She hasn't divorced him yet, so she's clearly in on it. Like, in on what?
Running for office? I'm not sure where you're going with there.
There's still almost a minute. There's just over a minute of this shit left.
Yeah, it kind of drags. This should have been a little pithier.
They're not good at pithy. I mean, it's the meme about how they meme.
Yeah, absolutely.
30 years later, he's still president today. And with the Supreme Court.
That is some freaky AI right there. His teeth are not moving with his mouth.
Shut up. Stop noticing things. He's flipping me off, I think. His thumb's backwards.
He really is. I stepped on what they're saying here, so I backed it up just a bit.
30 years later, he's still president today. And with the Supreme Court on his side, they gave him dictatorial powers.
Sweet.
The Supreme Court is going to give J.D. Vance dictatorial powers.
Yes, that's why he's using his weird mangled radar hand. And he's like doing a little ha-ha. in front of that Russian propaganda wall in a wrestling belt. I don't know what's happening.
This is another one where you can see that this is AI because AI has trouble putting words on signs.
For now.
You have to tell it specifically what to say.
Yes, he's got tiny little fists, and one of them's all jacked up like Radar from MASH. And then he's got a wrestling belt.
That doesn't even look like him.
No, not at all.
They took away women's reproductive rights, outlawed contraception, and removed the minimum.
What's that?
Hashtag you'll need to back it up a little bit. I stepped all over that. I'm sorry.
They took away women's reproductive rights, outlawed contraception, and removed the minimum wage. Then we had repression of dissent, AI surveillance of everything we did or said on a level we couldn't imagine. The government under Vance.
I love that this is all an imagining. They can't imagine the thing that they are imagining.
Well, I mean, they're contradictory people by nature. Also, how many states do we have now? Look at that flag.
Oh God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Did we annex 11, like 8 12, countries 15, and add all their states up?
What's 14 times 6? That would be 84. And that's just what we can see. We can't see necessarily the entire top of the flag.
Yeah. So 84. The stars and stripes don't look right either. But and is that Alex Jones behind him?
I don't know.
Or somebody wearing a flesh mask of some kind.
Given how close the eye is to the nose, I think it's the chick from Colorado we watched yesterday. Okay.
I like how they put all this on JD Vance, like he's some scary man to be dictator.
Yeah, if you've watched JD Vance, I know there's going to be people who are going to be mad at me for this. I would almost call the guy a rhino.
He definitely used to be a rhino. I don't know if he still is.
He is very leftist for being a Republican, and I know there's going to be people, how dare you? Just listen to what he's actually for and stuff. He is not a hardcore conservative at all.
No.
Peter Thiel and Elon Musk set up concentration camps for illegal immigrants.
You don't have to sell me on them. Come on, I'm already going to vote for Trump.
Okay, I get Elon, but they've recently decided Peter Thiel is the second embodiment of Satan himself. And it just makes me laugh every time because most of these people don't even know who he is. They've just heard his name on Twitter. So he's a bad person. All right. Why is Elon and Peter setting up concentration camps?
The board?
Then legal immigrants, then even homeless people.
Not the homeless people.
Man, lady, you are really selling me on this vision of the future.
First illegal immigrants, then legal immigrants, then homeless people. That's a weird jump. It really is.
Dangerous asked why JD Vance turned into Al Borland. That's the actor they hired to play him in the Totalitarian Wet Dream.
Oh my God.
I'm getting a bit aroused.
They finally admitted climate change was real, but it was too late. Florida sank into the Gulf and the
Florida sank into the Gulf. Do you understand how climate change would even work?
No.
The correct wording there would have been swallowed by the Gulf if your nonsense was true.
Yeah, it would be consumed, maybe. Overrun or became part of. It's not the
Titanic. It's not going to run into global warming and tip up on its side and go down.
You don't know what global warming's capable of, mister.
Jesus. They finally admitted global warming was true. But it was too late.
We were too late.
We didn't listen.
Florida sank into the Gulf and the West burned.
In fairness, it was a gender reveal party. I mean, can't blame that on global warming.
Or it was the homeless, like that most recent fire.
Or firebugs. Never mind.
Or both. Homeless people like setting shit on fire, man. That's just true.
Well, they're cold.
No, they're pyromaniacs. I don't trust them.
Cities across the country became uninsurable, then uninhabitable.
Uninsurable. Wait a minute. That sounds like an argument we've made before.
Sounds like they needed some reforms of some kind, not necessarily a concern about global warming.
I need this video. I did not need this video. What really annoys me is that there's the people who made this honestly believe this.
Oh, absolutely.
They really believe this is what's going to happen if Trump wins.
Yes.
Florida's going to sink.
Musk and Teal poured all of our resources into artificial intelligence. So they and their
Can
friends.
we just back that up for a minute? Hang on. I love that the military here is kids. Why are the kids in military uniforms?
Child labor.
Poured all of our I love also that this is made with artificial intelligence. Like, they poured all the money into artificial intelligence
so they could make this video better.
Fuck.
The only way this could be funnier is if Elon Musk actually remakes this with like Grok and makes it way better.
Yeah.
And actually scary.
Intelligence. So they and their friends could become immortal.
They're gonna figure out immortality with AI.
Yes.
I blame Hollywood for this shit. And why does it look like he's getting a happy ending rather than immortality? Right there.
I don't know what happened to them.
They lived forever, apparently.
Yeah. Duh.
They became immortal. I don't know what happened to them.
They ascended.
But I know what happened to us.
You became the old people that live down the street from me who sit around on the porch and yap.
Yes, this was made with Kling AI, Minimax, and Stable Diffusion.
Elon will use wizards to live forever. That would be awesome.
Even that voice was AI. No wonder it was so flat.
I assumed that was a real voice because
So
it sounds like one of those leftists who's like, this is my drama school voice.
Yes. These are... I as a drama kid myself, I'm a little offended at the insult, but lots of folks have been calling these people drama kids, and they really are.
Yeah, I played a lot of D&D with these kind of kids. They're absolutely junior drama club types. But they do that flat affect because they think it sounds serious. And I just assumed somebody sat there in front of a microphone and recorded it until they got it that flat every line. But apparently they're not even that motivated. They're this lazy.
I don't know what happened to them, but I know what happened to us. Fuck off.
Apparently,
Florida sank after the Great Guam Flip of 2039. Florida sank.
No, you see what happened was all the trash from Puerto Rico washed up and broke through the levees.
I love that only Florida sinks. Look, if Florida sinks, the entire eastern seaboard's gone. Y'all get that, right? You got to start. You'd be up in the mountains before you had land again.
Yeah, Dark Sayings makes a great point. If the homeless and immigrants are in camps, who the hell's left to set the cities on fire?
Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, apparently.
Yeah, with their psychic powers that they got from being immortal.
Well, that's what they use the AI for next.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, isn't that great? Wasn't that a great video, guys? I'm so glad Understatement sent that to me, because that was beautiful. I watched that and I was like, holy shit. I didn't watch the end credits because I didn't care, so I didn't realize it was all AI voice, but man, I must have watched that thing like 3 times.
I watched it once, and he had sent it to me too. I gave you credit, but I saw yours before his because you sent it to me after, and that's how it works. The latest thing.
How it works, yeah.
But yeah, I watched it one time and rolled my eyes through the whole fucking thing.
Yes. As an aficionado of bad cinema, I can spot, and I have a pretty good tolerance for it. So I was just giggling through the whole thing. I'm like, this is like some pseudo Hunger Games Handmaid's Tale bullshit. It's just the wet dream dystopia of the leftists that all think, oh, we would come in and rise up and take everything back and seize the means of production, and then the utopia will be forever. Ugh.
Chris says the AI text kind of looks Russian. It's been my experience with dealing with AI that anytime there's a sign, that's how it looks. I don't know what they're telling these AI things, or sorry, what they learn to do on their own. Why they pick that weird. Sometimes it looks like a mishmash between Russian and Chinese.
Yeah, well, I mean, future language of our overlords. I mean, nothing.
Starring Alyssa Milano and Harry Sisson.
Harry Sisson played the woman. Real quick,
He did not play it. Stop it.
Fair point. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Dude, where can I buy a ticket to the Elon Musk concentration camp? That place would be a blast. Also, when do you think they jumped the shark? Vance becoming a pro FN per Orson Welles, Elon sinking Florida. This is what Rod Serling would write on acid. I know, right? Like, there was actually a little bit of creativity accidentally found here.
It's just the modern equivalent of the same shit we saw in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've told the story. You've told the story about your friend who literally thought gay people were going to camps.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to me anymore. Hi, Rick.
That was going around. I mean, I read similar things on Twitter, on Facebook. That's where I was at the time more often. But like, he's gonna put gays into camps. Like, no, he's not.
Yeah, like I don't know how do you convince yourself that we're at that point? Like, there will be signs before that happens. It doesn't just overnight happen. Not normally.
Hang on just a second for those of you who are asking where you can find it. Here is the link we have to that video.
Yeah, I already threw it in chat once.
There you go, Rumble. Well, on YouTube it goes pretty fast, so throw it in a second time with a notice that we're throwing it in there. There you go.
Yeah. He didn't die, Toby. He just won't talk to me anymore because he's a dick. He kind of went crazy.
Gay people go to camps. It's called theater camp. Fair enough. They have camps for gays. They're called anime conventions. Wow.
Yeah. I would like to see somebody do a parody of this with the Harris Walls thing. And it's just Walls being all pervy.
Oh. I just love that JD Vance is the one who actually makes everything horrible.
Oh yeah, because he's obviously the first lieutenant of Adolf Trumpian or Trumpster or whatever you want to call him. I don't know.
Tyrai, thank you. YouTube has been actually telling me that you have new videos in my phone alerts for the last 2 weeks. What did you do? I don't know, because they've not been monetizing many of the videos we've done lately, the streams. I got to stop insulting Democrats in my stream titles.
Do you?
No, they can keep their $1.50.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. It really matters now.
This is parody. How can you make it any funnier or more ridiculous? You would just have to exaggerate it more. That's all. Be like, then they banned pumpkin spice. That's all. You can still parody that. That it is possible. I saw some guy today, Jack, supposedly because of literally these are two things that were mentioned: Puerto Rico joke and Liz Cheney being put in front of a firing squad. His sister, she runs a group in Florida, and the only thing you have to do to be able to join it is be a woman who voted for Trump, but now is not going to because of these things. And there's like 1,300 people in it. And I'm like, even if that were true, so what? But if anybody's voting for Trump or not voting for Trump because of a comedian making a joke about Puerto Rico and him not threatening to kill Liz Cheney, I don't think they should be allowed to vote because they're too retarded.
I mean, yeah. I mean, are retards allowed to vote? Because I don't even know.
I did parody that myself, even as ridiculous as it was. I told him my sister was the head of the coalition for shit that didn't happen. Handmaid's Tale would be too liberal a society for Pence. No, Pence wasn't as bad in that regard as they dressed him up as, but they love him now. Pence was going to electrocute all the gays, but now he supports Kamala. He's great. Apparently electrocuting Jews. Whoops. That's a whole different group. That's Hassan.
Yeah.
Electrocuting gays is fine as long as you support Kamala. And the same thing with their love of the Cheneys. I do not understand why Democrats are all on board with that.
You got me, man.
This is a man you literally called a murderer, a mass murderer, a war criminal. He belongs at The Hague. And like, he's so great. He's supporting Cheney, or he's supporting Cheney. Well, he is himself, but he's supporting Harris.
But now he belongs at the hey.
It's fucking stupid, man.
Well, they're not consistent or particularly intelligent individuals. So,
of all of the people that you're going to latch onto, it's the Cheneys.
I guess any port in a storm. I don't know.
If I was one of those pedophiles from the Lincoln Project, I'd be pissed.
I'm sure they're jealous.
Oh, man. Oh, man. We haven't talked about them today. The Krasensteins. I got to bring them up. Liz Cheney's thing we read earlier. Ed Krasenstein responded, and this part is a direct quote. "I'm so sorry this happened to you." I was like, wow, dude. She had somebody say something about her on a stage. "I'm so sorry this happened to you."
Oh, it's so horrible. Oh my God.
Trump got shot and you don't have any fucking sympathy for him. Mighty Balzac, thank you. Liz Cheney, not my proudest pap. We've all got one of those, my friend. We've all got one. All right, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Same deal with tonight's show, Jack. I'm not sure when it'll be. Chances are I'll be going to bed at the same time as the rest of the house, and it'll be a later show like today was.
Yeah.
I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Cool.
So, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are so kind. Don't forget to tell your friends, your family that bitch you hate. Get them here watching because it's a lot more fun live than it is in Memorex. Jack, anything you want to show?
No, I haven't gotten anything done.
Fair enough. Ladies, go ahead.
Thanks for the donations, guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming out.
A pleasure as always, Jack.
Always glad to be here.
Take care of yourselves. We love you. Don't listen to the media. They're a bunch of fucking liars. Come find us. We'll tell you the real story. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I'm dreaming of a white woman. No.